So now we are going to graph quadratic functions, which are parabolas, and these are specifically going to be ones that are centered on the y-axis. Now, they're not all like that, but that's all we're going to investigate in this video. So, what's a quadratic function? Let's graph the standard quadratic function. F of x is equal to x squared. Now you can also think about this as y equals x squared, but we're also using and introducing and learning about function notation. So let's start like we have before with an xy table. If you're not sure how to graph something, this can at least get you in the right direction. So like usual, let's choose some values for x and then substitute them into the equation. Let's start with 0, 1, and 2. So let's do y equals 0 squared, which is 0. So we have the point 0, 0. Hooray. Now we'll do 1. Y is equal to 1 squared, which is 1. So we have the point 1, 1. Now we'll do 2. Y is equal to 2 squared, which is 4. So 2, 4. So what you might notice already is that this is not shaping up to be a straight line. It looks like it sort of angles off here, okay? It's always good to pick negative numbers. So let's pick -1 to start. Now you might be wondering so far, why have I been sticking parentheses right here? Well, it's always a good idea. I've said that before. It's always a good idea to put parentheses when you're substituting a value in for your variable, especially when that number is negative. In fact, it is necessary. -1 squared is +1. Remember, if you plug this into your calculator as -1 squared, it's going to give you the wrong answer. It's going to give you -1. It's not equal to -1. Well, this is, but we want the whole thing squared. We want the negative times the negative. Make sure you put parentheses around that. -1, 1. Where's that? 1 to the left and 1 up, right there. -1, 1. And then we will do -2. Y is equal to, in parentheses, the quantity -2 squared. -2 times -2 is 4. +4. So that point is right here. And what you're going to notice is this starts to look like a little U shape. Now I'm going to add just a couple more points. If we go to 3 and square it, that takes us all the way up to 9. So then it gets really steep. Same thing with -3. That also takes us up to 9. This is called a parabola. And if I slowly try to draw it accurately, kind of looks like this. Okay? And it just keeps going up, right? This is called a parabola. All right? And that is the graph of y is equal to x squared. It hits at 0, 0, and it goes up to the left, up to the right, curving up like a U. Now, there are, of course, other variations of this. So let's look at some other examples. So let's graph y is equal to x squared minus 3. So you pause the video and try to do this on your own. I'll keep going. I'm going to use those same numbers. I'm going to use 0, 1, 2, -1, -2. Okay, so y is equal to 0 squared minus 3. That's 0 minus 3, which is -3. That's going to be down here. So it's not at the origin anymore. It's down the 3 spaces. Y is equal to 1 squared minus 3, which is 1 minus 3, which is -2. 1 -2 is right here. Y is equal to 2 squared minus 3. Well, there's our 4. 4 minus 3 is 1. 0.21 is right there. And then we go to the negative values. -1 quantity squared is 1. 1 minus 3 is -2. That point is right here. And finally, y is equal to -2 squared. Quantity squared is 4. 4 minus 3 is +1. So this actually kind of looks like the one above, right? This looks like those same points right here. They're just all shifted down 3 spaces, okay? If I added in 3 and -3, that would get me up to 6 and 6. So I'll just, for the sake of seeing a nice accurate graph, I'm going to put those in there as well. And our parabola looks like this. Again, take my time to draw a nice accurate parabola. And there we go. So it's the exact same graph. It's everything is just shifted down 3 places when we do -3. All right. So these are parabolas that are centered on the y-axis, right? They are centered right here. They reflect the same way. They reflect over that y-axis. You have the same y values on the right side as you do on the left side. However, not every parabola is like that. We'll talk about that in another video. However, for those of you doing this work on Alex, what you will be specifically asked to do is plot 5 points where one of your points is for x equals 0. So you're getting that center point. And then 2 points to the right of 0, which would be these 2 positive values of x, which would be these 2 points. And then also 2 negative values of x. So these 2, right? So when you are doing these, how we want to graph them is 1 in the center, 2 to the right, and 2 to the left. And that is how we can graph these basic parabolas, which, like I said, are centered around the y-axis.